What is going on, YouTube, New York Giants fans? Welcome to a live show of New York Giants Full Access with your boys, Big Pat Sports Talk and NYG 22 Unpopular Opinion Sports, man. Hey, listen, got a little action-packed show for you guys today, man. We're going to be talking about Isaiah Likely. How is he going to be used in the New York Giants offense? Kayvon Thibodeaux trade rumors. John Harbaugh. Are you impressed so far with John Harbaugh? And man, a little guy that we talked about, Mr. Wan'Dale Robinson, taking a shot at the New York Giants after being signed by the Tennessee Titans, man. What's going on, NYG, man? This is New York Giants Full Access, man. We're going to be talking a little bit about the New York Giants tonight. So, what you got for us, man? What you got for us, man? What you think is gonna happen with this Giants team going forward? And should we be concerned about Harbaugh so far?
Um, I don't think anybody should be concerned about Harbaugh per se. But we were promised some things that haven't been delivered yet. So I'm still waiting. I'm waiting patiently in the background, just to see what happens. We're not going to make no rash judgments or decisions so far, but we do want to see some other things being done here. I'm just going to be honest with you, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that a whole lot and a whole lot more about some other things, man. This is New York Giants Full Access with your boys. So let's talk some New York Giants football, man. This is New York Giants Full Access. Let's get to the intro.
New York Giants.
Welcome to New York Giants Full Access. All right, first things first. We gonna be talking about, you already know what time it is, man. Kayvon Thibodeaux, trade rumors about Kayvon Thibodeaux have resurfaced, and it looks like the Harbaugh brothers are talking amongst each other, man. They are talking about trading Kayvon Thibodeaux to the Chargers. First round rehab project. That's what they're saying.
Rehab.
So yeah, so people talk about Kayvon Thibodeaux not being, the guy that everybody wanted him to be. So look, they said the Chargers should still consider trading for Kayvon Thibodeaux, man. And they're talking about the Chargers giving up a 4th round pick and Denzel Perriman, a veteran linebacker, the 33-year-old linebacker, man, Denzel Perriman, and a 4th round pick for Kayvon Thibodeaux. So, first and foremost, man, NYG, man, I want you to talk a little bit about what that means for the New York Giants if they do go through it with that trade. And is it enough, for the Giants to give that up, man? I want you to talk about that for a little bit, man. And let the people know, is this unpopular or what's going on with this, man?
Well, I'm not trading Kayvon Thibodeaux for a 4th round pick. That's me personally. Now, I will say, getting a linebacker in the deal, Denzel Perriman. I'm not a big Denzel Perriman fan, but I mean, he has played in this league. He has performed in this league. So you can pair that with what you got in McFadden and Edmonds, to try to solidify your linebacker core. a little further. So I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to flip the outside edge guy for a inside linebacker type, and but a 4th-round pick for a guy that you picked 5th overall. Don't forget that. Now, Kayvon Thibodeaux does have a double-digit sack season in his career. It's not like he's a scrub or a bum. But the Giants do have Carter. They do have Burns. So if they are considering something like this, I'm at least trying to get a 3rd-round pick in the deal. Not getting a 4th, because the Giants do not have a 3rd-round pick. Remember that. So you do want to try to get a 3rd-rounder to round out your draft. You only got 7 picks. I think you got the 2 4th-rounders, or 2 5th-rounders, something like that. But if you can get a 3rd-rounder in the deal, if you can negotiate and get this move to a 3rd, it might be worth it for the Giants. But I'm just not trying to give up Thibodeaux. I like the 3 pass rush monster, because if you get rid of him, who else you bringing in if Burns or Carter got to have a rest, or God forbid one of them get hurt? So that's what you got to think about as well. So you're not just giving them away for chopped liver. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, man, I agree with you on that, man. You can't give up Kayvon Thibodeaux for a 33-year-old linebacker. This fan base always talking, oh, he's old, he's oldness. So you willing to give up a number 5 pick overall and Kayvon Thibodeaux, your best run stopping edge rusher. Let's keep it a buck, for a 4th-round pick, where you already got 2 4th-round picks, and Denzel Perryman, who probably will have to struggle to beat out Michael McFadden to be a starting linebacker. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get that, and I don't believe that you can't at least get a 3rd-round pick for Kayvon Thibodeaux. I don't believe that, man. I don't believe that you can't at least get a 3rd-round pick for Kayvon Thibodeaux. That's just ridiculous, man. Like, come on, man. I don't like that at all. And then it's Jim Harbaugh asking for him as well. So is this, the brothers, conjoining together and be like, hey, I'll do you a favor, Jim, over there with, know what you're going through over there with the Chargers. Is this a brother doing another brother a favor? You see what I'm saying? Like, is that a brother doing another brother a favor? I don't like this at all, and I don't think it's smart. I really don't, because Kayvon Thibodeaux is worth way more than just a damn 4th-round pick, man. It don't make any sense, bro. It don't make any type of sense. What's going on, Coach? He says the lowest pick I'll be willing to accept for Tibbs, if it's not a 1st-rounder, it's a 2nd-rounder. Well, I'll tell you this, Coach. You're not getting a 1st-rounder. That's a fact. You're not getting a 1st-rounder for a Kayvon Thibodeaux. But if you do it good enough, you might be able to swing the 2nd-rounder. The Lions are looking for another edge rusher to pair with Hutchinson. There was rumors that the Cowboys were in talks with the Giants about Kayvon Thibodeaux, and John Harbaugh said no, which I am glad he said. I'm not trading no doggone Thibodeaux to the Cowboys. What, like, make it make sense? Make that make sense. You're gonna trade one of your top players, no matter what you talk about him or not. He's one of your top players. You willing to trade him to the Dallas Cowboys? Like, NYG, like, explain to me how that would turn out if we actually traded Kayvon Thibodeaux to the Cowboys. The Cowboys will probably give you a 3rd-round pick for him, to be honest with you, because they know what they can do to you with those edge rushers that they have over there. Rashawn Gary, Thibodeaux, Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams, man, that is vicious. But talk to him a little bit about it, man. Would you trade him for the Cowboys?
Hell no. What we doing over here? We ain't trade Kayvon Thibodeaux to the Cowboys. We ain't trade Kayvon Thibodeaux at all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm tell you why. Because the Giants, if any franchise should know, it should be the Giants of the value of having multiple pass rushers on your team that aren't just guys, you know, they aren't Jags. They aren't just another guy out there. They are, you know, Kayvon Thibodeaux is a guy that, you know, can perform at a high level. He showed you that. So that is what I'm looking at here as far as Wells. What's good, man? Appreciate you tapping in, bro. But I'm looking at Kayvon Thibodeaux in that matter too. Like, bro, you can't just give away one of your best pass rushers. Like Abdul Carter. Has Abdul Carter solidified that spot as of yet? Are we certain? Like, are we just going to go in there saying, all right, Abdul Carter about to have this 13, 14 sack season and be this monster edge rusher and be able to stop the run and do all this and all that? No.
So do you have questions about Abdul Carter being a primary edge rusher on this team? Like, explain what that means, because I don't want the people to take you out of context.
He hasn't proved anything, is what I'm saying. He hasn't proved it yet. Can he do it? Do I think he can do it? Yes. Yes, that's why he was drafted where he was drafted at. But he hasn't proved it yet. So for you to come into an off season and just throw Kayvon Thibodeaux away and have Abdul Carter man that spot full time when he hasn't done it before in his career and he hasn't proved that he can do it at a high level, I think is a bit ridiculous. Like, and you're putting a lot of pressure on him. You know, he had pressure last year. You remember with the comments and everything and him sleeping in the meeting room and all that. So, like, I love Abdul Carter as a player. I think he's going to be awesome. But the one thing you want to do is make sure you got yourself a dog before you get rid of your other dog. That's what I'm saying.
And I think that's an absolute fact, man. You don't get rid of Kayvon Thibodeaux for no damn fourth round pick. You damn sure don't trade him to the Cowboys. And this is one of the first times I've heard somebody bring up, hey, maybe we need to keep Kayvon Thibodeaux and let Abdul Carter get another year underneath his belt before you try to get rid of one of your primary players. But coming up with his contract talks, though, he is on his 5th-year option. So if you don't trade him this year, you do run the risk of losing him for nothing in free agency. Because after the 5th year is a franchise tag, and the franchise tag for edge rusher is above $30 million, if I'm not mistaken. So this is what I was saying when we did our New York Giants Battlegrounds. Do you just pull the trigger because you know you don't want to sign this guy to a multi-year deal and just accept what Jim Harbaugh is offering you, Denzel Perriman in the 4th round pick? Do you take that to avoid the risk of losing him for nothing like we did with Xavier McKinney, Saquon Barkley, Julian Love, like the list goes on? Like, do you risk losing him for nothing?
Do you believe Kayvon Thibodeaux wants to be a New York Giant? Do you believe in John Harbaugh's ability to recruit and keep people in the building and sign guys that like he did this offseason? John Harbaugh put a focus on signing New York Giant players this offseason. That's what people missing. So why would Kayvon Thibodeaux fall out that, you know what I'm saying, out that category? You know, he's a guy that you want to keep around if he wants to be here. Remember, he kept saying, you know, I want guys that love football. I want guys that, you know, want to be here, yada, yada, yada. So that is the question. Now, if they shopping Kayvon Thibodeaux, maybe it's because they got a hint of him not wanting to be here, or you know, maybe there may be some issues with contract negotiations. if they were trying to negotiate a contract with him. So I don't know. That could be something to think about here. Because if this keeps coming up, then to me, that's telling me that maybe Kayvon Thibodeaux is having doubts about wanting to be or play for the New York Giants. So that's to me, that's what that signals to me. But if all things is equal and he wants to be here, then no, I'm not trading him. Why? Now people talking about the money, but you're not paying Carter right now. That's the point. Now, when you get ready to pay Carter, by the time that Thibodeaux contract come up, then yeah, you know how Joe Shane do these deals. Basically, 3-year deals, that's 2-year deals. So they give Kayvon Thibodeaux a 3-year deal. By the time his deal comes up, because you can get a 5th-year option on Abdul Carter, he's a first-round draft pick. By the time Kayvon Thibodeaux deal come up, you will be able to pay Abdul Carter and let Kayvon Thibodeaux walk at that point. If you give him a 3-year deal, that's how I would GM this situation instead of just trading them for an old ass linebacker or a player that you probably don't really want and a low 4th-round pick. Like you said, you already got 2 of them. So you want to do that? Nah, I don't want to do that.
Nah, I don't want to do that at all, man. But what do you guys think about the whole Kayvon Thibodeaux, trade rumors and everything? Shout out to Sublight77. He says, agree. We finally have a chance to build depth because as soon as one dude gets hurt, we risk having a hole in talent again. That is absolutely correct, Sublight. Thank you for commenting, man. If you haven't subscribed, I believe I've seen you before, but if you haven't subscribed, hit that like and subscribe button for us, man. Mr. Burton, he says, man, don't trade him at all. Facts. It's magnificent to have a player like him specifically to be there to rotate and always have that attacking fresh legs. Keep him. It's dumb to let him go. That's a fact. And I'm actually considering paying him after this year. Well, you might get between 25 and 28 million. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to get him for 22 to 24 million. Who knows? I think that's worth it to have those 3 guys play a long time together. Remember, we had Strahan, OC, and Kiwanuka at one point. So
and Tuck.
Yeah, and Tuck, man, defensive tackle position, and we got Dex. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of the same situation with those guys, and I think they could build something really, really good with those 4 guys here. But man, that's been, the first segment of New York Giants Full Access, man. Kayvon Thibodeaux trade rumors. Looks like Jim Harbaugh's trying to get, I think Jim's the younger brother, trying to get his older brother to give him a gift. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see, man. Shout out to everybody tuning into the chat, man. Eagles Uncensored, which I think that is AK. What's going on, AK? Good to see you.
What's good, bro?
Marlon Jackson in the building, Mr. Burton in the building, Les, what's going on? Sublight, Wells, you already know Iman Perry in the building, Coach Mosley. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. We ready to get into the next segment, and this might be a segment that you guys like. Mr. Isaiah Likely. We're gonna talk about him a little bit right after these quick messages. Let's get it. So we are going to be talking about Mr. Isaiah Likely. He is rumored to be used like the Chiefs' Travis Kelce and Matt Nagy's offense this season, man. And I do believe that they can do it. And quote by, I think this is the Big Blue. No, this is Heavy Sports. They said the one sign I think that's not being talked about enough, in my opinion, is Isaiah Likely. Daniel of the the Heavy says. He says Isaiah Likely is going to be used in New York like Travis Kelce was in Kansas City. You design the entire offense around him, and move him everywhere. So, with that being said, I'm going to get it to my co-host, Mr. NYG. Do you agree about what was said right there? Do you agree with that? Do you think that the offense should be put around Isaiah Likely, even though we do have quote unquote Malik Neighbors? Do you believe that Isaiah Likely should be the focal point? Talk to him.
No. The focal point should be the running game, right? Isn't that what we've been talking about here? Right? You know, building this offensive line, which we'll talk about that, I guess, a little bit later. But building this offensive line, getting Cam Scatterbo, all these guys want Jeremiah Love to be picked at 5, which I'm against. But again, you chasing Kenneth Walker, you chasing Wyatt Taylor and these guards and all this, and you talking about building this offensive line, but then you're going to sign Likely and tell him to be the focal point of the offense? No, he's going to be a part of the offense. You know, will he be a big part of the offense? Probably, yeah. But being the focal point and being this Travis Kelce, you know, pushing 1,000-yard type tight end, nah, I don't see that in his future. You know what I'm saying? 6, 7, 800 yards, you know, it may be he gets double-digit touchdowns. We'll see. But no, we are going to run the football with the New York Giants. That's what John Harbaugh is trying to build. So, yeah, he's going to be a part of the running game, blocking, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? If you want to say that. But as far as a focal point, yeah. And then you mentioned Neighbors. Now, Neighbors isn't healthy. So we got to kind of let him get back. But when he's back, Malik Neighbors is going to be the focal point of the offense because he's the best player. Clearly, he's the top superior talent that everybody's defense is going to have to game plan around when he's out there. So that's the focal point. You know what I'm saying? Right, Les. Neighbors is the guy. You know what I'm saying? But for now, you know, you can run it through the running game. You know, you got Scatbo, you got Dart, you got Likely. And that's another thing we haven't talked about. Jackson Dart. How is he going to factor into all this? Isn't he your quarterback that you want to build this thing around? You want to build around his abilities and all that? So how are you going to run your offense through the tight end like that? You know? And then you see what I'm saying? So you really don't want to run an offense through one player anyway. I want you to have to worry about my entire team. I want you to have to worry about my tight end, my wide receivers, my running back, my quarterback, my fullback now. Appreciate y'all pointing out Ricard. Got Ricard now. So you running it through Likely? Nah. That's bullshit. That's cap, in my opinion. Unpopular as it may be.
So that's what they're talking about with Isaiah Likely. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to Isaiah Likely talk himself about, you know, what he expects to do when being in this offense next year. This was before he signed with us. So let's hear a little bit about what he wants to talk about as far as being a weapon used with this Giants team. Let's listen to a little bit what he was talking about.
How'd you leave things with John?
John loved me. I mean, I feel like when I was the first person, I feel like I was the first person to call John when he got hired. I mean, and that's what I was telling everybody on the Gruden show. Like, he's the cultural piece that you need. Like, he's instilling the discipline to understand that adversity happens. What are you going to do when it happens, though? And he's going to bring the mantra of, like, we're gonna win every game, and we're never going to go into a game thinking less. And that's what, you know, I feel like is great for the Giants organization.
Yeah, I mean, is there a path there? Can a Knight move in that offense, that L shape?
I like a lot. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, you must like the NFC a lot.
Oh, you want? So now you're going to the AFC? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just on your team. You and Jackson would be fun. I feel like you'd give him a ton of chances.
Yeah,
that'd be sick to see.
Yeah, definitely with his two-play quarterback.
How'd you?
So, Kay Adams, who I think loves the Giants herself, she was one of the only ones.
Clearly, she's fond of the players, but
right. So she said use them like a knight, and so on the chessboard, the most popular piece is the queen, but the knight is one of the most powerful pieces on the chessboard, man, because it can move in that L shape, and it's one of the only ones that can check the king, and you can't move a piece in front of it if in its path to stop you from checking the king because it moves in the L shape. And I do believe you can use him like the knight on the chessboard. Let's just keep it a buck. You can move him to the slot. You can move him to the outside. You can move him in line. Is he a great blocker? No, but he shows that he can block his butt off when he gets to the outside and let somebody like a Tracy break off an outside run. Now, I do agree that Isaiah Likely should be featured in his offense, but I don't agree with him being the player because you have them elite neighbors. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to make somebody the player over a Jamar Chase or a what's my boy from the Vikings, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Or Jackson Smith and Jigba or somebody like that. He cut from that cloth. And he showed it his rookie year, and he was showing it again his second year, but he got hurt. So I think you do use him like a knight. Elite Neighbors is the queen. He protects Jackson Dart when it comes to the passing game. He's the guy that can go in any space, move anywhere on the field at any given time and attack any place on the field, which would be the chessboard in this situation. And I'm glad she mentioned something like chess because that's the way I think about how football is. It's a game of chess. And you got to use your pieces to your advantage. So we all know that he's going to be the secondary option unless we get somebody like a Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate at 5. And I still think he should be the second option.
Micah says, what about Malachi Tony at 37? What do you think about Malachi Tony?
At 37? I think we got to go guard within these first two picks. I think we got to go guard Micah. I would like a Malachi Tony, but I think we got to go trenches, man. If I'm thinking about the right guy that you're talking about, Malachi Tony. Oh, that name. I wanna. Yeah, Malachi Tony. No, he's not even eligible. That's what I thought. He was the freshman. That's what threw me off. He's the freshman from Miami. So, yeah, he's not even eligible for the next 2 years, bro. So, yeah, that's what threw me off. I'm like, Malachi Tony, ain't that the receiver from Miami? Yeah, so, no, Malachi Tony won't be available for a couple of years, and that's another small guy if you don't know NYG. He's like 5'9", from Miami, but he's electric. He's like a Zachariah Branch this year. If that's what's the type of guy that you would want, Zachariah Branch will be that type of guy.
I don't want no more little guys, bro. I mean, you got enough of them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, you need somebody that can make a play when shit's covered. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we'll see if Likely can do it. If he likely can, that's another weapon for you. But right now, you don't really have that guy, outside of Neighbors. But you don't want him doing all these acrobatic, jumping up in the air type catches. So you need a guy that can make a play for you when shit is covered. What you think Philly got with A.J. Brown? Why they trying to hold on to him for dear life? Because Jalen Hurts ain't that dude that's going to slice you up down the field. he's going to have to throw it to A.J. Brown when what? Shit is covered.
You ain't lying.
A.J. Brown can make that play.
Every
the
time.
Giants, I think, need that guy too, because you don't have a bunch of dynamic receivers.
Okay.
You got neighbors.
And shout out to Micah 6018. Hit that like and subscribe button for us. He said Malachi Fields. So I was like, Malachi, that's the dude from Miami. But Malachi Fields, if we could get him like in the fourth round, I will be enamored with it. I'll be ecstatic, because not only does he not have to come in and be the guy, he can actually sit and learn and sit behind a Slayton for maybe a year, or sit behind Slayton and come in and goal line situations and let him develop. But yeah, Malachi Fields, I would not be mad at drafting Malachi Fields, bro. That's the
bigger guy, right? From from
Notre Dame.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a guy we've been scouting for a little bit. Craig, what's going on? He says 6 wide receivers. We got neighbors. Yeah, we got neighbors at the wide receiver position. Then we got Slayton. Then we got Austin. Austin the third, 5'9". We got Darnell Mooney, who I think is a little underrated. That little dude can play, bro. And he's not as little as I thought. He's 5'11", so that's not. I mean, he's 1 inch shorter than Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, he's 1 inch shorter than me.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think he could be a valid number 2, depending on how we use our tight ends.
I'm only comparing him to myself because you've seen me in person, so that's Mooney is my size pretty much.
Yeah. True enough, yeah. If you ever actually see NYG in person, Mooney is like this much shorter than NYG. NYG does have more weight on him than Darnell Mooney. And I'm with you, Micah. I'm with you. Jeremy Bernard from Alabama, nice. 6'2", 200 pounds, very fast, and great after the catch. And he can line up inside or outside. Jeremy Bernard is nice. I like him,
he's
man.
like a Godwin type.
Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't get as injured as Godwin did, but yeah. But that's the whole thing on Isaiah Likely, man. Thank y'all for being interactive, man. That's dope. That's the whole thing on Isaiah Likely, man, being a focal point of this Giants offense and maybe being used like Travis Kelce in the future, man. Who knows? And if they use him like Travis Kelce, that means he's going to be the focal point. And they only did that, though, because the Chiefs didn't have anybody like a Malik Neighbors out there in Kansas City. So
you seen when Tyreek Hill was there, the offense was different.
Yeah.
Kansas City.
You know, so they did that out of necessity, not just because he was just better than, he was better than all their receivers. Isaiah Likely, as good as he is, he's not better than Malik Neighbors, and it's not even close. So we'll see, man. But we're going to talk a little bit about another small receiver in YG. We're going to talk about Wan'Dale Robinson, man. Wan'Dale Robinson took a little shot at the Giants after getting signed by the Titans, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we'll be right back, man. We're going to talk about Wan'Dale Robinson. Mighty Mouse. So, Mighty Mouse has finally came out and said a little bit about the New York Giants after being signed by the Tennessee Titans. They're saying it's a shot. Maybe it was a little bit of shot at the Giants, but we're just going to hear him out and hear what he had to say real quick. It's a little clip, so we're going to hear what he had to say real quick, and y'all determine what it was. It a shot at Jackson Dart? We'll see. Let's hear it.
Tell us about now catching passes from Cam Ward and how big of a factor that was.
That was pretty big as well. You know, for a lot of my career, I haven't had just that one guy back there playing quarterback. And it'll be nice to know that we got our guy back there, and just watching the little bit of stuff that I've been able to see of him, and I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to get back there with him.
Tell us about.
So a lot of people, may take it out of context a little bit. I don't know. But NYG, I'm going to let you take the bat first, man. What do you think about what was just said by Wan'Dale Robinson about the Giants, and knowing that he has this guy now and Cam Ward throwing him the ball, and he's excited to be with Brian Daboll again?
I'm going to say this respectfully. Fuck Wan'Dale Robinson. What do you got to say about anybody's quarterback? Like, for real, dude? You know what I'm saying? They gave you like 250 targets in 2 years, bro, for you to get your numbers and get your contract. That's why you over there with Brian Daboll, because ain't nobody else in their right motherfucking mind going to do that. Why you talking about quarterback play? The fuck? I seen you drop hella passes, my dude. What are you talking about? You out there can't get all press coverage, dropping wide open passes, getting bullied out there because you're too goddamn small. I want to punch him in his fucking face, man, for saying that shit. I don't care if it was not meant that way. Stop talking. He up there grinning. You looking all trying to look all smooth, and I would too. I ain't gonna hold you. You got a big ass contract, but again, you know what I'm saying? Like, his look in that interview, it made me want to smack the shit out of him, bro. Like, who are you? You think you hot shit now, dude? I can't wait till the Giants play the Titans. I can't fucking wait, bro. You know what I'm saying? I hope they get some corners that's gonna punch this dude in the fucking face. Nah, what he said was some slick shit about the quarterback. Oh, I'm glad I got a quarterback now. Da. What quarterback you got? Cam Ward was ass last year. Let's keep it a buck. And I like Cam Ward. But you compare him to any Giants quarterback is just, it's fucking out of pocket. So, what you doing, Wan'Dale? You over there in Tennessee now, and you think you can't be had, bro? Like, y'all, man, I hope they get their ass bust, especially when they play the Giants, because this little dude right here, we've been talking about him for years, Pat. I'm glad he's off this fucking team down there in Tennessee, and I hope they get their ass whooped. But not Cam Ward. But Brian Daboll and all them motherfuckers, fuck them. Excuse my language. I don't mean to cuss like that, but I don't like this fucking dude. I ain't never liked him. Now I don't like him even more.
So, yeah, man, I do believe that it was a little bit of a shot at the New York Giants for not giving him that big contract that he got from the Tennessee Titans. I always said from the very beginning, you don't give this dude $20 million a year. I was like, that's a strong pass for me. Because to get the 1,000 yards that he got, bro, you had to have Malik Neighbors gone, and you had to get every single target that you could get, and half your yards came in 3 games. The game against the Lions, who were reeling at that time, the game against the Cowboys, who couldn't guard nothing in the first couple of games, and who else was? I forgot who else it was, but I think the Titans going to be in for a rude awakening, man, and I think Cam Ward is going to get very frustrated over there with Brian Daboll, because the way that he runs his offense, Cam Ward is going to get hit a whole lot more than he's used to if Brian Daboll has his way. And for this little dude to say what he said, and it may be taken out of context, who knows? But you shouldn't have said that. Like, you act like Jackson Dart didn't, help you out, bro. Like, you had like this whole offense was geared towards you, and we got 4 wins. Why? Because you were too small. You were too small, bro. It could have been one of the coldest plays last year when he threw that ball to you in the end zone. And I was hoping Theo Johnson would have just took the ball away from you, but he let you try to get it, and you got the ball knocked out of your hands because you too damn little. Not saying you trash, but as a number 1 receiver, I'm sorry, trash. I can't have you as my number 1 guy. And now you're being paid like a pseudo number 1 guy over there with the Titans. Because number 1, here I come to save the day.
Mighty Mouse.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for you to be getting paid like a pseudo number 1 receiver, because number 1 receivers are getting between 30 and 35 million. So you only get 20 million. So technically you're not being paid as a number 1. But damn, bro. Like, just keep your mouth shut. You went over there to your guardian, Brian Daboll. We all know who Wan'Dale Robinson was now. It was a Daboll guy. That's why he was getting all those targets. Because Brian Daboll is stubborn. He doesn't want to admit when he's wrong. And fortunately for you, Neighbors got hurt. And you got 1 million targets again. You know, the first year when Neighbors was on the field, you had 140 targets for only 600 yards.
Yeah, bro.
You only had 4 touchdowns last year because if it's not a bomb or you break a tackle and run for 60 yards, you can't be targeted in the red zone because you're too little.
Mm-hmm.
So what is Cam Ward going to do with you out there, bro? You're going to be a slot receiver who's not one of the best slot receivers in the league. I don't care what nobody says. You're not one of the best slot receivers. Before Tank Dale got hurt, I would take Tank Dale. CeeDee Lamb plays primarily in the slot, so you got to take CeeDee Lamb. You're not better than NYG's boy, McConkey. And that's a fact.
Yeah, McConkey.
That's an absolute fact. You're not better than McConkey. You're not better than Parker Washington over there with the Jaguars. I like Parker Washington. They should use him a lot more. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it, man. And you can keep naming slot receivers. You can just keep naming them that I would take over you because you're just too small, bro. And he said Napoleon characters like being around each other.
Yeah, coach.
So overall, NYG, what do you believe Wan'Dale Robinson would do over there with the Tennessee Titans? And do you believe that
Puka?
Oh yeah, Puka Nacua, that's number 1. Let's keep it a buck. Jackson Smith and
Brown. Yeah, Smith and Jigba.
Oh yeah, St. Brown.
Yeah, who's
you see what I'm saying? I'll be honest with you. I'll take Christian Kirk. That just went over there to the 49ers. I'll take Thibodeaux Sweepstakes.
Yeah,
right now.
Still out there. Yeah.
I said Gunner could do the same things that you was doing. And when Gunner came in against the Cowboys, what did he do? The same shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Gunner's 5'11". But what do you think, man, NYG? What do you think his career is going to be like over there with the Tennessee Titans? And I know you don't appreciate what he said, don't base it off what he said, but what do you really think about what he's going to do over there with the Titans, man? And should the Giants, feel bad about losing them? You know what I'm saying? Like, should they be like, damn, we lost.
Nah. Why would you feel bad about losing a 5'8" slot receiver when They basically grow on trees in the NFL. You know, and to be honest, I don't think he's gonna have no spectacular career. I mean, he'll put up numbers because it's Brian Dable's offense, and they gave him a bunch of money, so they gonna give him targets. You know what I'm saying? That's what they gonna do. And yeah, 5'5", 5'8", 5'9", you know what I'm saying? I could see him having, you know what I'm saying, that type of production because he's going to get force fed. You know, now you talking about Cam Ward and what the Titans going to do and Rob Saleh, you know, are they going to try to run the ball? Because he ain't blocking shit either out there. You know what I'm saying? Good effort, man, but get your fucking ass out the way. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen to him. So I don't know. I don't see him having no spectacular career. Is he going to have these 1,000-yard seasons every year? No, if that's what you asking, because I don't see it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think he can put up fair numbers, you know, 700, 800, 900 yards maybe in a good year. But who's afraid of Wan'Dale Robinson? You see what I'm saying? He had one good year on a team that was terrible. So what that's telling me, in a good offense on a good team with actual weapons, he's going to be a third or fourth option. So if Tennessee ever get good, he ain't going to be doing nothing out there like that.
That's a fact. If the Tennessee is going nowhere, if he's the number one option, I'm sorry. H-Town, what's going on? He said Jeremiah Love would be a Giant, man. Y'all don't learn y'all lesson, do y'all? But that's the whole Wan'Dale Robinson saga, man. I don't appreciate him saying anything about the New York Giants, man. Just take your money and go do what you do over there with the Titans. I can't even get their name out. With the New York Titans, the New York Tennessee Giants.
Yeah. The Tennessee Jets. Yeah, that's what they doing. You know, he said it earlier in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Well, so all these Titans and Jets players. You know what I'm saying? So good luck. Like you said, good luck.
Right. So we're going to get into, you know, one of the last segments of the show, man. We're going to talk about John Harbaugh, man. Have you been impressed so far what he's done with this New York Giants team? Man, we're going to talk about it a little bit right after the quick little commercial break, and we'll be right back, man. Wan'Dale Robinson, man. I'm glad I don't have to talk about Wan'Dale Robinson no more, man. Peace. Good Lord. All right, we're going to be talking about Mr. John Harbaugh so far. Giants fans, have you been impressed with the moves and the things that have been done so far with the New York Giants? We're going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to listen to this little clip right here and get a little bit of perspective from, you know, the NFL Live crew. And we're going to talk about what they think about the Giants so far this offseason, what have they done. So let's play it real quick and let's see what they're talking about, man.
How do you think schematically he's going to do some things around Jackson Dart and some of these weapons that we can look out for about what this will really look like on the field next season?
Well, it's going to be a completely revamped offense. I think a lot of people out there are probably thinking, oh, you know, Andy Reid disciple, he had his chance in Chicago where he was coach of the year, talking about Matt Nagy. I think this offense is going to be specifically designed around Jackson Dart's strength. Yes, we know that he can run the football. Yes, we know that he's good with his legs, but he's extremely accurate in the short and intermediate part of the game. So I do look forward to seeing what that should be like. And I do think they're going to take some shots down the field. I mean, this is something that Andy Reid used to do, even Matt Nagy when I was with him. We like to throw the football down the field. Mooney gives them that speed threat. But the one signing I think that's not being talked about enough, in my opinion, is Isaiah Likely. Like Isaiah Likely is going to be used in New York like Travis Kelce was in Kansas City. You design the entire offense around him. You move him everywhere. You design it around mismatches. And I think that's something that they are going to do. I mean, you get a healthy Malik Neighbors, you get Cam Scatterboot back, you get Mooney, you get Isaiah Likely. I mean, the weapons offensively for the Giants right now are really, really good.
How do you think?
So that's what. Oh, what's this quarterback? I forgot what Daniels something. I forgot what his name was. Chase Daniels. There we go. Chase Daniels. Chase Daniels seems pretty impressed of what John Harbaugh has done with this team so far to go through some of the moves. He signed Calvin Austin III to a 1-year deal. Mooney to a 1-year deal. Isaiah Likely to a big 3-year deal. Bring Patrick Ricard over for a 2-year deal. He has done some pretty good things, you know. You get Cam Scatterboot back from injury. Malik Neighbors back from injury. You got Jackson Dart. Your offensive line was ranked in the top 10 when it came to pass protection. So, NYG, I want you to talk about, are you impressed with John Harbaugh's move so far? We're going to talk about it a little bit. You know, I got to let my guy NYG get his opinion out there, as unpopular as it may be. Still got to hear him out, man. So, NYG, talk to him a little bit about John Harbaugh so far this offseason. Are you impressed?
Am I impressed with the offseason? Not really. They kind of did what I thought they was going to do. So I'm not impressed. I would have been impressed if they would have got some offensive linemen in here and some defensive tackles in here. I would have been impressed with that. They didn't do that. So, again, I can only judge what I've seen so far. You know, everybody talking about what's gonna happen and what they need to be doing and what they should be doing and how and you bringing back the same offensive line. It's actually gotten worse because your right guard spot isn't solidified yet. So I'm not impressed. Do I think they made good moves? Yes. So don't take this out of context like I'm saying they trash anything or John Harbaugh is a goofball. No, I think he's a smart man. I think he knows what he's doing. And I think they're going to attack the trenches in the draft. That's my prediction. You know what I'm saying? But as far as being impressed with the offseason, no. You signed Darnell Mooney and Calvin Austin. Who the fuck's impressed with that? Are they good players? Yeah, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But so are some of the players you already got on here. You know, like Theo Johnson, Cam Scatterboot, Tyrone Tracy, Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors. So, yeah, the players you bringing in, I was most impressed with Patrick Ricard. I think that was one of the players that can really make a difference. You know what I'm saying? Likely's good too, but I'm waiting to see that growth from Theo Johnson. Did we forget about him? Everybody's so enamored with Isaiah Likely. Theo Johnson can ball too if he can catch the fucking football. That's it, Theo. So, impressed? No. Did they make good moves? Yes. You know, I'm kind of where Iman's at, you know. What, B+, B+, somewhere like that? Yeah. But I ain't giving them no A+ because you still got holes on your offensive and defensive lines, my G. The fuck? That's how I feel about it, Pat.
All right. That's how NYG feels about it. You know, I have some of the same sentiments. I'm not as quote unquote harsh as NYG. I do believe we have made some good moves. And I like the Darnell Mooney move a lot more than what NYG likes the Darnell Mooney move. I believe Darnell Mooney has proven that he can be a solid number 2 receiver in this league, and he can get deep, and he's a solid receiver. He can actually jump up and get that thing too, you know, given the opportunity. He has shown that he can jump up and catch that ball in some 50-50 situations. Do you want to put him in 50-50 situations all the time? Hell no. But he has shown that he will go up there and get it. The whole Isaiah Likely signing, I pretty much predicted that as soon as the Ravens lost that last game, I was like, Isaiah Likely is going to be a Giant. Because NYG, to his credit, predicted that John Harbaugh was going to be fired. And he said, whoever loses this game between Tomlin and Harbaugh, they're going to be fired. And sure as shit, Harbaugh was fired right after that game. And to his credit, freaking Mike Tomlin was fired right after that playoff game, like we said. I say if he loses the first game of the playoffs, Mike Tomlin's going to get fired. He stepped down, but he was fired. And what I am impressed with so far, like NYG said, the Patrick Ricard move. With you signing Patrick Ricard, that means we're finna run the ball. And that's what excites me about this Giants team. Now, to NYG's credit, who's blocking for him? We lost Greg Van Roten at right guard. He's still a free agent. We didn't get a Vera Tucker who they wanted. We didn't want to pay Wyatt Teller. And if you don't want to pay Teller, what are you going to do? Get Benito? And the guard signings that we signed was Joshua Zudu and Evan Neal. So Evan Neal and Joshua Zudu fighting for your right guard position cannot happen. It cannot happen. And who's to say that they can't get better under really good coaching? But based off history, we cannot depend on an Evan Neal, Joshua Zudu combination at guard. And then if somebody gets hurt, damn. Who you got at guard? Because Bo has to be your swing tackle. Based on what you did this offseason, Marcus Bo has to be your swing tackle. I love Illuminar. I love bringing him back. That was dope. Andrew Thomas, if he can stay healthy, you see what I'm saying, is one of the best left tackles in the league. Does John Runyon fit the way you want to run the ball? To me, right now, I believe the answer is no if you're trying to be a smash mouth team. Does John Michael Schmitz fit what you want to do? That's a toss-up. That's up in the air. You got to do some hella developing, with John Michael Schmitz this offseason. And Evan Neal or Zudu at right guard, oh my goodness, I can't have that as your starting guard in the beginning of this season. So when NYG says I'm not impressed, I can see why he says he's not impressed. I am not being like, hey, John Harbaugh, A+. No, I got to go the B+ route as well, because that right guard position, What about the defensive tackle position other than Dexter Lawrence? Do you have that much faith in Alexander, or is what's the guy, Sears Anderson? Are you all in on him? What about the second linebacker position? Is Michael McFadden that dude? So we still got some holes on this team, and I'm not saying he should be able to fill every last one of those holes in one free agency. You can't do that. You can't spend that much money. But the facts are
a lot of people, Pat, are trying to base it off of, like, okay, the Giants were in games last year. They were close to some games, and if you basically keep continuity on the team, the coaching should be the difference, because that's what it's going to have to be. That's what you're selling to me right now. You saying that, you basically saying what we were saying, that Brian Dable was that garbage that with the same team, John Harbaugh can make the difference to come in here, because you're bringing in primarily the same team for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that Ricard signing, because the Giants haven't had no fullback like that since goddamn Henry Hanaisky was back there. You know what I'm saying? So that is a difference. That's a major difference. But outside of that, you're not doing a lot of changing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of guys replacing other guys. You know, you got Austin replace Wan'Dale Robinson. You know, you basically taking Slayton, benching him, and putting Mooney as your number 2. You know what I'm saying? Which I think You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of a similar team, but you're selling the fact that John Harbaugh, and I can actually buy into this, which is why I'm not tripping, that John Harbaugh is going to be that difference maker for that he is the major addition for the New York Giants. It's got to be that, because they really haven't done a lot of remaking this team. Everybody's saying they're going to make these rash moves, especially on the offense. This offensive line is going to look different. Y'all heard it from Jordan Renan, Dan Duggan, and all of them. I don't want to misquote them. I know I heard it from Renan, though. This team's going to look so different. And the offensive line is going to be remade, and everybody's going to be surprised and wild. And it's just propaganda, bro. They just going about their business, which they should, you know? So I'm not impressed. You know, it's kind of a lunch pail approach, to be honest with you. The impressive move was getting John Harbaugh in the building. I think that's what everybody's kind of, you know, optimistic about, because you can't be I mean, come on, bro.
You know, my concerns about this offensive line are very, very high, because I don't think you got better. I think you got worse, because you didn't sign anybody new and you lost Greg Van Roten. So the facts are there. You actually got worse. Right now, you got Evan Neal slotted as your right guard. That's not good. That's not good at all, considering what Evan Neal has shown you so far. Even though I think it was unfair to him that he didn't get any snaps last year. I think that was very unfair to him. And maybe you can turn it around with Evan Neal, but who knows? But I want to talk about this. Since you didn't do anything as far as in the trenches, does that tip his hand in this upcoming NFL draft? Because you've been talking about that too. And now with you not doing anything with the offensive line or the defensive line, now it's kind of like you're tipping your hand of what you have to do, especially in the second round. Because if you're going to take best player available in that first round, which he said he's going to do, what do you do in that second round? And people know that you have to go trenches in that second round. What do you do now? I want to hear your take on that.
And that goes back to your original point, which is why I think they're trying to trade Kayvon Thibodeaux, because you got too many holes to fill and you don't have enough draft picks. You know what I'm saying? So what you want to do is take best player available, because you want that defensive stud, I think. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Styles or Downs or whoever. And I think you need that third round pick so that you can add to your defensive and offensive lines. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think they need to be doing. So I think that could go back to your first point, which is why they may be trying to shop Kayvon Thibodeaux, but you ain't gonna do it for a fourth round pick. You know? So I do think that they do have to add draft capital at some point, you know, in the future, because that's how you stack in talent. As you lose free agents, you're replenishing them through your draft process. So they wasn't able to capitalize at guard or defensive tackle. So yeah, it does tip your hand a little bit, but it doesn't tip it to the point of you having to go guard in the first round, I don't think. You know what I'm saying? Or defensive tackle, anything like that. I think you could still go BPA in that first round, but I think with that second pick, remember, you're not going to have a pick till like in the 100s after you pick at 37. So that's where you have to add and try to get back into that third round, and to get a guard, maybe a receiver, maybe a defensive tackle or something. That's where that, you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's how I'm looking at that, you know, and I think they looking at it the same way, which is why, you know, Kayvon Thibodeaux trade talks keep coming up.
So, like Micah said, big facts, man. I mean, I'm not disappointed with what Harbaugh has done so far. I think he's actually done a pretty good job of, getting some people in on this roster that you have to account for, like Isaiah Likely. Believe it or not, a Patrick Ricard. You have to account for him. You have to account for Tremaine Edmonds at the linebacker position. But if there is a little bit of disappointment, it is that the trenches, man. And this was the main thing that, people were clamoring for was the trenches. You coming over here with the trenches. And like I said, you can't do everything in one off season. And it didn't shake out that the way they wanted to do it. They didn't have the money to go out there and give $22 million to a right guard, or, go and give $28 million to freaking the center, Linderbaum.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would have gave Linderbaum $20 million, but he got what, 28 or 27 million? Like crazy,
man.
Disgusting. So, everything doesn't go as planned, and we got to see what his plan B is, because right now plan B is not looking too great. Let's be honest. It's not looking too great right now for plan B with the trenches. There's a couple of defensive tackles that I think you could have gone after, and I still think DJ Reader is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I even old man, what's the 40-year-old Caleb? Oh my goodness, Calais Campbell,
yeah.
I wouldn't mind him.
Mm-hmm.
You did get Greg Newsome at the DB position, but we still got a lot of questions there.
H-Town says getting a DT in round 1 after a trade back would be good. What you think about that? A defensive tackle in the first round.
But who you gonna get?
What? Who we been talking about? Peter Woods, Caleb Banks? I don't know.
Yeah, Caleb Banks, Peter Woods. Who you gonna take that high?
Well, he's saying trade back. So
that's what I'm saying. But let's say you trade back to pick 10 or 16. Are you still taking Peter Woods there?
How do y'all feel about this? How do you feel about a massive trade back? Say you go back. Oh, I gotta get the chart up. Say you go back to like 7-18 or some shit. You can get an extra first next year and maybe even pick up second and the third round of this year, some shit like that. Like a massive trade back. But you're gonna miss out on all them top guys that everybody's clamoring for. But you're going to be able to stack a bunch of picks. What y'all think about that? Because a trade back from 5 to like, let me get my damn chart up, my Tankathon thing up. Because a trade back from there, I think. So say the Giants go back to where Pittsburgh is, or Carolina. Carolina picks 19. You ain't trading with Dallas, so that's 20. Say the Chargers at 22. You talking about the brother Harbaughs. Say you trade back to 22 with the Chargers. Say the Chargers want Sonny Styles or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And you go all the way down to 22, but you able to get like a first next year, another second this year, maybe a third this year. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and maybe
give up like another third the next year too, because that's 15 spots.
Right. So what if you did that? You know what I'm saying? And then you took a Caleb Banks or a Peter Woods or something, and got a guard. Say you get say you can get the next what's his name? Pregon.
Yeah, Pregon.
From Oregon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you get him. Say you get Banks. Say you get kind of like what we did in that video with the Big Blue Crew, Big Blue View trade down, but this will be even going back even further to 22. So you definitely gonna be able to pick up another first round pick next year. Now you got some trade pieces. See what I'm saying?
If I could trade down to 22 and still get somebody like a Pregnon, or say, because that guy from Penn State is not going to be there.
No, I don't think he's going. I was thinking him too, but he's not.
Maybe a Fano from Utah. I will actually take Pregnon over the guy from Utah.
Mm-hmm.
KC Conception in the second round. I mean, he's like the type of receivers we already got. To be honest with you,
yeah,
a little more explosive.
Why they like these guys? I don't know what it is. It's got to be. I don't know, man. It's got to be a fucking Joe Shane thing or some shit. I don't know. That's one thing I could put on him, bro, because we can't put it on. He's gone, and they still targeting these little motherfuckers, man. This is crazy, yeah.
Yeah, Leon, we're definitely gonna do another mock draft for you guys for sure on New York Giants for access. It's gonna be a dope one too. But yeah, if I get somebody like Pregnon at number at 22 and get somebody like Caleb Banks in the second round, or let's just say Caleb Banks at 22 and Pregnon at 37, and then you got another second round pick right after that.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could fill a lot of spots.
Receiver, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you might be able to get you a nice receiver, maybe a Chris Bell right after that. 6'2", 220,
beast,
4.3 speed. Even though he is coming off a ACL, you know, but he doesn't have to be the guy right away. He can sit and learn for a little bit. Sit behind Slayton.
And you got Mooney, Slayton. You got a bunch of guys out there, so he good. He could heal up and be a monster next year for you.
You know, so that's something to consider, Giants fans. You know, I think that's a really good idea, even though I do want Sonny Styles. But if you could get that many players, if you get that many players and fill that many needs, it's something that you definitely have to consider. Something that you definitely have to consider with this Giants team for sure. What's going man, thank Leon Adams, man. Thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Stephen Bloom, I ain't seen you in a minute. Bloom, what's going on? What's going on, Stephen Bloom? But it's getting, I guess it's football season around the corner. See some all those guys coming back. But yeah, that's something I would definitely consider, bro. You gotta consider that. Real talk.
Yeah,
and I would actually do it.
They need more picks, bro. And that's one thing that the Ravens, you know, have done. They have, you know, been able to stack picks, you know, and trade downs and trade backs and stuff. So Joe Shane has shown ability to maneuver in trades, but the Giants haven't really traded back. They always trade up. So I think at some point they're gonna have to turn that around and start trading back and start adding picks. I would be a fan of a trade down even in the second round. I don't think a lot of people are talking about that. You know, say you go Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs, and then you take 37 and say you move back, you know, to the back end of that second round and pick up a third rounder on top of it. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to do things like that to add more picks. They got to try to add picks in this draft that's rich with talent in the second to fourth rounds. But yeah.
But NYT, what's going on?
What's good, NYT? Appreciate y'all chiming in the chat on New York Giants Full Access, man. This is dope.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you guys like the new production that we're doing for you guys, man. Got a lot more to come. The Aboriginal Sports Network is on the come up. Hit that like and subscribe button right now. Road to being monetized on the Aboriginal Sports Network, man. It is here and we are almost there. But, man, we talked about John Harbaugh. We talked about Isaiah Likely. We talked about punk-ass Wan'Dale Robinson. And we talked about the Thibodeaux trade sweepstakes, man. What are some of the subjects that you want New York Giants Full Access to hit on about the New York Giants, man? We even talked about the draft, trading back in the draft. I think that's a very good subject to talk about. A lot of things we need to talk about going into the draft, and you will get another mock draft from us here very soon. So, NYG, man.
We got the live mock draft coming up, I think, next week.
A week from today.
Yep.
A week from today, another live mock draft of the first round. Shout out to Coach Ed. We got a lot of heavy hitters coming on that draft, man. If you like the first one, you're definitely gonna like this next one.
Live mock draft with all teams. Everybody got a team to pick for, so you're gonna want to tune into this, man. Of course, we got somebody picking for the Giants, got somebody picking for the Jets, got somebody picking for the Cowboys, I believe, the Eagles. So we got all the NFC East teams in there. So it's gonna be trash talking and trading, and it's gonna be a blast, man. So y'all tune in.
It's gonna be
for that.
a dope show. I can't wait to produce it and make a pick for a team that I will be giving. Who knows what team Big Pat's gonna pick for? What team is Unpopular Opinion Sports gonna pick for? Never know, man. But shout out to everybody.
That's nice in that last one, though. I ain't gonna hold you.
You ain't lying.
That nice with Reese and Peter Woods.
And we got Jordan Tyson in the last one. I ain't mad at it. If you need a receiver, I ain't mad at it. But come on, man. Sunny Styles right there. So, anyway, man, can't wait to do that show for you guys. Trying to line up some things for you guys for Giants Battlegrounds as well. You might see Big Pat versus Online Big Blue Tim. Yeah. Still calling you out, dude. It's time for you to step up to the plate, man. You've been talking about me for a long time, man. So step up to the plate, man. But we got a lot of people. Entertainer might be on there. Bad Dog Sports might be on Giants Battlegrounds. Emery Hunt chimed in. He might turn into Giants Battlegrounds. Shout out to P-Dot. He might be on there. So be on the lookout for Giants Battlegrounds, man. Can't wait to do that next episode and go check out the first 2 episodes, man. NYG held it down in both shows.
Yeah, I did.
Versus me in the first one. You know, so very dope show. Y'all go check that out, man. Debate format in sports. A real debate format. Love it. But any last words before we get out of here, man? Gotta get to sleep, gotta work it.
Nah, I'm good, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, and yeah, man, I'm waiting to see, for this draft what's gonna happen, man, because I think that's might be where you might see the big splash, either in a trade back or maybe they trade Thibodeaux at the draft. I don't know. I think I got a hunch it's gonna be a splash in the draft, so y'all gonna want to stay tuned right here on New York Giants Full Access, man, for all the news, man, and all the breaking news and all the New York Giants discussions, man, because we're going to have it all covered for you, man. So, yeah, that's it, man. Take us away, Pat.
All right. Y'all know what it is, man. Peace.
Peace.
Welcome to New York Giants Full Access.